Details on how to use Multimin 90, market recaps, and lots more. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart. A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Multimin 90 and Lactapro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. We'll have your What's Your Beef trivia question at the end of the program, so let's dive right into this one out of the chute. Preparing cattle to thrive during transition and stress. It's all about maximizing success, or I should say setting cattle up for success. This is how we introduced Multimin 90 a couple weeks ago, brought to you by Axiota Animal Health. Multimin 90 is an injectable trace mineral supplement for zinc, copper, manganese, and selenium, especially during big periods of stress in a critter's life. Preconditioning and weaning, breeding, and the third trimester of pregnancy. Makes sense, right? I was asked by several of you to dive into the weeds or go down the rabbit hole, as I say, more on Multimin 90, so I'm happy to oblige. Joining us today is Dr. Kevin Kane, a technical service veterinarian with Axiota Animal Health. Let's talk efficiency on this, because there's always a cost, and I refer to those calves as assets, and it's asset management, and we're talking risk versus reward, because there's a cost with it. So let's first talk about preconditioning those calves and efficiency of, are we actually putting dollars back in our pocket? We're actually netting something on those calves.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So when we look at utilizing an injection of Multimin at those critical times, such as preconditioning or weaning, we're the whole goal with that process is to vaccinate those calves and get good BRD protection, which costs the industry anywhere between $800 and $900 million a year. And so if we can get those calves, if we can prime that immune system so they can respond better to vaccination and have better protection, then we're going to get better return on our investment out of those vaccines. But then also we're going to set those calves up for better success post preconditioning or post weaning, when we're going to put those animals through the most stressful time of their life. And so where it's going to be imperative that the vaccines have good success and good protection so those calves don't get sick, but then also so we don't have to pull and treat those calves with antibiotics, which is going to cost, additional labor to pull those calves, and labor is hard to come by these days. Mm-hmm. And then also when we look at utilizing injectable antibiotics on those calves, that's going to range anywhere from probably $10 to $15 per calf.
So let me kind of go back and just go to a little animal science here. Why are trace minerals, why are those so darn important, specifically to, we're talking calves here? Why are they so important?
So trace minerals, we got to think of those as kind of essential building blocks to biological functions within the animal. So when we look at the immune system, that is going to be run or driven by trace minerals to perform those different functions. Same way when we look at reproduction on the cow side of things, that's what's going to be the driving factor there. And then when we tie that all together, that's going to incorporate to overall health and performance within those animals.
So here comes the yeah, but. And I did this with Tina. I had pneumonia really bad. I was on oxygen for a long time to try to get my lungs strong again. Now, one of the things that I needed to do was I needed to wean myself off of that oxygen to get my lungs healthy. I had to force them to work, right? I had to stress them so they would get strong so I could withstand the next encounter, if you will, with pneumonia, something like that. So I'm using that same scenario, and I'm comparing it to these calves, preconditioning. What about using Mother Nature? Because if we are already supplementing with a balanced nutrition program, we are giving them those trace minerals that we're talking about. What about the concept of forcing these animals naturally to be able to develop those a little bit more of that immunity, not resistance, but that resilience maybe is maybe the key word there. What about just doing that naturally versus adding something into them like Multimin?
That's a great question, Tigger, because when we look at the studies that have been done on Multimin, those have all been done on well-supplemented animals. And so we still see that improved immune response, improved vaccine response, and improved reproductive efficiency. And so even though we're already providing, this oral supplementation and trying to meet those needs, we can still see that benefit with an injection because we're going to change that trace mineral status very rapidly and very effectively. So we'll increase the trace mineral levels in the blood within 8 to 10 hours, and we'll increase the trace mineral levels in the liver already at 24 hours. So we can supplement that animal at those strategic high demand periods where it's going to drive the health and efficiency of that animal.
Time for a quick break. When we come back, we're talking more Multimin. The Ranch It Up radio show will be back after this. Gelbvieh and Balancer producers, seed stock and commercial, add genetic technology from the American Gelbvieh Association. They provide genetic tools to both seed stock and commercial producers. From being a part of the world's largest genetic evaluation and providing some of the most accurate EPDs in the industry to offering a wide variety of DNA tests, the AGA delivers its members and customers tools for success within the beef industry. Head to gelbvieh.org for more information from the American Gelbvieh Association. A lot of you have been using ranchchannel.com to select your new herd sires. Well, coming soon, feeder and live cattle markets, corn, wheat, and bean futures, all at ranchchannel.com. And don't forget, lots of upcoming sales. Just head to ranchchannel.com. At Transova Genetics, it's simple. Their mission is to provide opportunity and advantage through genetic acceleration. Sounds great, but what does it mean? That means using the latest technology to get your cow herd where you want it and where you need it as quickly and efficient as possible. So, from now until September 30th, any donor cow collected via IVF will receive a $100 discount. Genetics you need and money back in your pocket. To schedule an appointment or consultation, head to transova.com. Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today.
Cattle Battle.
Welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with y'all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. You can text or call us 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Back into the conversation with Dr. Kevin Kane with Axiota Animal Health and the use and application of Multimin 90. Let's look at an application of a specific scenario. Let's talk about breeding. And we all know that to get these cows, to get these females rebred, it all begins with nutrition. We all know that. That's where everything starts at. So when should we give this injectable, and can we use it along with our synchronization program so I don't got to run them through the chute again one more time?
Yes, and that's a great question. And it kind of goes back to the question you had previously, too, is why do these calves need it? So we'll start with the cows first. So the cows, say we've got them at good trace mineral status prior to calving. Well, when she calves, she is going to transfer majority of her trace minerals off to that fetus through the placenta because there's very little or virtually zero trace minerals that transfer through the colostrum or milk. So that cow is going to stack that fetus with as much trace minerals as she can because that's what that calf's trace mineral source is going to be for that first 100 to 150 days of life. And so because of that, or as a result of that, that cow's trace mineral levels are going to be very low right at pre-breeding and breeding. And so while we are still providing a good oral supplementation, oral products take time, anywhere between, let's say, 30 and 45 days to get that trace mineral status back up where it needs to be. So if we utilize an injection there at pre-breeding, we can time that with pre-breeding shots, vaccinations, or we can do it at cedar insertion to minimize the times that those animals have to go through the chute.
So if we look at we're talking these three areas, breeding season, pre-breeding, third trimester pregnancy, preconditioning, kind of those stressful times, there's some gaps in there of those kind of 3 times a year. So how do we go about filling those gaps, or, a particular protocol, I should say recommended protocol?
Well, when we look at a recommended protocol, I would recommend consulting with your local veterinarian, because this is a prescription product. But when we look at that protocol that you just described, on the cows at pre-calving, that is the most economical dose a producer can give, because you're going to supplement the cow, the fetus, and the colostrum. And what I mean by colostrum is if you're giving a scour vaccine and you give Multimin at the same time, you're going to get better response out of that scour vaccine and better scour protection. Now, on the cow, giving it there at pre-breeding to complement what we're doing orally, we're going to get more of those cows bred up early, so better conception rates. And then we're also going to get better calving distribution, meaning we're going to get more calves born in that first 20-day period. So when you talk about return on your investment, you're going to have calves that are going to wean off heavier and more pounds to sell. When we look at the calf protocol, as I talked about, that calf is only going to be born with so much trace minerals that he gets from the cow that transfer through the placenta. By the time that calf is 56 days old, he is already going to burn through 70% of the copper and zinc that he is born with. So when we look at from a timing standpoint, right there is a critical time where we're going to be processing those calves and branding them or vaccinating them for the first time. And those calves are already approaching critically low levels of trace minerals. So to supplement that with an injection of Multimin at that time at branding is going to get us through those summer months and better vaccine response. And then if we come in and time that again there at weaning or preconditioning, that's going to set us up for better success and better calf health through better vaccine response and better protection.
So obviously that you've said a few times that, Multimin 90 is by prescription with the consultation of your veterinarian. If we missed a particular season per se, and again, this is with the consultation of your veterinarian coming together and figuring out a plan, can we, as I was saying earlier about fill those gaps, is a good time to start is just start? Am I understanding that correctly, that it's not like, okay, here's phase 1, and if you miss that, we got to wait till next year?
I would definitely consult with your local veterinarian, but it is a matter of, that protocol is designed to complement those animals when they need it the most, but then also to show the best return on investment for producers.
So it's definitely something that should be, on the chalkboard, the chalkboard. Look at me, just date myself. The dry erase board. What if you missed it? That it needs to be on. Okay, here's something on our to-do list that we may want to consider for that next big stressful period in that cow or calf's life.
Correct. Yes. One thing I was going to add is you talked about natural immunity and stuff, and so there was just a recent paper published with using it at the same time as pulling and treating cattle. That did show benefits as far as response to the disease challenge. So that gives us an option. But when we look at this product, it's more of a prevention product. So establishing it in our protocols at the right time to see those benefits as far as vaccine response, calving, breed back in those animals. And ideally, when we look at this product, it will be an injectable, because that's where we see the benefits of this going systemically and having an impact on that trace mineral status versus what oral products do from, the limitations of absorption and antagonists.
Hey, is there any withdrawal period on this product?
There is a 14-day meat withdrawal, and there's a 0-day milk withdrawal.
And I'm assuming kind of in this situation, more is not necessarily better.
Correct. Stick to a label dose because we definitely want to be, still have our good oral supplementation program. So those animals are going to be getting those trace minerals through that source as well. So follow the label dose according to weight and age and dose this accordingly. I was just going to add Multimin. It does qualify for all natural and organic programs. And so it is it's a good natural way just to boost that immune response in that animal and to rely on their natural immunity on its own.
Okay, that's a very important part to bring up. And those people marketing those calves and trying to add value or perceived value to those calves, that's huge.
Yes, it is. And we've done some research with Superior Livestock and calves that sell on Superior that advertise with the Multimin logo that they've received those doses. It does show that those calves bring a premium.
Dr. Kevin Kane, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Multimin 90. Remember, it is by prescription only, so I would highly recommend sooner than later you schedule a meeting with your veterinarian and come up with the best program for your outfit. And hearing how some of those calves are bringing a premium for using Multimin 90, all the more reason to see if Multimin fits into your program. We'll be covering Lactopro from Axiota Animal Health here in the next few weeks, by the way. Dr. Kevin Kane, thanks so much for the time. More information can be found at Axiota.com. And all of this information that y'all are looking for is quick and easy, accessible at ranchchannel.com. Check out the listing for Axiota Animal Health in the products and services category on ranchchannel.com. Now, let's take a quick breather in the Ranch It Up Radio Show. We'll be back after this. Breeding season is here, and maybe you haven't made all of your decisions yet. Maybe you're fixing to AI some cows or some heifers. Turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Top quality semen from elite bulls. With over 50,000 head marketed annually, turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Looking for the best way to raise beef, whether on pasture, crop residue, or in a dry lot, choose Westway Feed Products. Westway Feed Products boost forage utilization, efficiency, and sustainability. Find your nearest rep by calling 800-800-7517 or visit westwayfeed.com. Stay connected with the crew from Westway Feed Products on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Call 800-800-7517 or go to westwayfeed.com today.
Cattle market reports to various news stories. The Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Have y'all tried livestockmarket.com yet? We have updates each and every week. Brought to us by auctiontime.com. We're all familiar with that one. Try livestockmarket.com. And don't forget, for all your equine needs, head to equinemarket.com. For years now, I've been telling you all about Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients. Well, it's time to make the change and add Pharmatan to your cow's diet, to your calves' diet. Get that boost in health and increase feed efficiency. It all starts with nutrition, so add Pharmatan. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. That time in the program, we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, recapping the markets last week. So, Kirk, what's going on?
As of Friday, August 2nd, the cattle market was definitely suffering from some spillover from the equities as a poor jobs report kind of signaled that we may be going into recession, and stocks are down hard. Cattle futures are also down hard. August feeders closed the week at $249.22.5. That's down $9.97.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index down $1.12 at $257.72. That left the basis at a negative 807. That's a very, very wide basis, indicating that either futures has to go back up or cash has to come down. August live cattle closed the week at $183.97.5. That's down $455 on the week, with cash trading $188 in the south and $196 to $198 in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average for August 2nd up $1.55 at $194.68, and the basis versus August futures at a positive $10.58. That very positive basis definitely helped motivate some cash sales as sellers took advantage of it. The weekly slaughter was 593,000 head. That's down 17,000 head from last week and 22,000 head lower than the same week last year. Choice boxes closed the week at 313.77. That's actually flat on the week. To wrap this up, December corn closed the week at 403 3/4. That's down 6.5 cents on the week. Corn did break through the psychological $4 level before closing back above it.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, August 14th, we have our small livestock online auction. Bidding opens at just $10 a head, no reserves, all lots will sell. Over 100 head of sheep, goats, and pigs, plus over 400 bales of hay. Featured lots include 50 purebred Dorper ewes selling on 2 25-head lots. They're 1 to 4 years old. They're bred to Dorper rams. They've been out with the bucks for 3 months from Ouija Livestock in Horton, Kansas. 50 purebred Bordeaux selling on 2 25-head lots, mostly 2 and 3-year-olds. And they've been bred back to a black dapple or traditional boar billy from Ouija Livestock in Horton, Kansas. 21 Duroc Mulefoot feeder pigs, 20 pounds, 15 barrows, 6 gilts, from Robin's Nest Farms in Nunley, Tennessee. 7 Duroc Mulefoot sows, 230 pounds, 2 to 3 years old, and they've had a litter, and that's also from Robin's Nest Farm. 16 Burke, Chester White, and Duroc feeder pigs, 100 pounds, non-GMO, all uniform gilts and barrows from Simpson Farms in Plockton, North Carolina. Featured hay lots include 215 large round coastal bales, selling on 5 43-bale lots. It's 4x5, 850 pounds net wrapped and put up right and dry from HC Farms in Tyler, Texas. 42 large round mixed grass bales, 4x5, net wrapped, 825 pounds, first cutting from Pot Ridge Hay Farms in Waldron, Arkansas. 32 large round mixed grass bales, 4x5, net wrapped. It's great quality hay and solid bales from Babson Hay Farms in Viola, Arkansas. 29 large round grass bales, 5x5 net wrapped, 1,500 pounds stored inside from MMD Auctions in Lakeview, Iowa, and 80 small square brome bales. Selling on 4 20-bale lots, it's wire tie, 70 pounds, no rain, stored inside from Coves Auctions in David City, Nebraska. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, August 14th at 10 a.m. Central Time. Got sheep, goats, or pigs to sell? Regular small livestock online auctions, second Wednesday of every month, with hay sales every Wednesday on LivestockMarket.com and AuctionTime.com.
What if advocacy was about creating informed constituents instead of solely focusing on creating beef demand? Hey, I'm Shay, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. I sat down with Jeremy Viator to talk about how she works with youth to do her part in creating a better future for the beef industry and America. Here's a highlight clip about why she does it.
I'd say as adults, we in the industry have to recognize that we can't keep talking inward. We can't just keep talking to our industry. We have to do more where we talk to consumers and potential consumers on the East Coast, the West Coast, in metropolitan areas, because ultimately that's where the voting constituency is. And that's, if we don't win votes, agriculture isn't here in 5, 10, 15 years down the road as we know it today. So that's really, really important. And then the next step is that we have to encourage young people to not be afraid to have conversations with their peers.
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
And now we're going to move into the What's Your Beef trivia. Last week's question was, what big event in May do Beck and I talk a lot about, and we always attend? It's in the state of Montana, and that is, the answer I should say was, the world-famous Miles City Bucking Horse Sale, and congratulations goes out to Tom in South Dakota. I barely finished my sentence, and Tom was texting in and had the right answer. So congratulations, Tom. Be watching the mail, and we will get your swag package coming out to you today. The What's Your Beef question of the day. Here's what I'm going to throw in. I think last week I gave out a short sleeve t-shirt. Today I'll throw in a long sleeve t-shirt because so many places had kind of a cool down. So a long sleeve Ranch It Up tee is coming your way. You can send us an email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can text us 707-RANCH20, or you can call that number 707-726-2420. So I will see when the timestamp comes in We'll take the first correct answer. Make sure you leave us your mailing address and what size of long sleeve tee needs to be coming your way. And you know what? I'm even going to throw in some hat patches that say Ranch It Up on them. These actually are the coolest hat patches around. I'll throw those in as well. Today's What's Your Beef question is, what is the name of the institute in South Texas that offers the premier Master of Science in Ranch Management, okay? What is the name of the institute in South Texas? We've had them on the show before that offers the premier Master of Science in Ranch Management. There you go. That's your What's Your Beef question of the day. Good luck. And now that is going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, Dr. Kevin Kane with Axiota Animal Health, Shay Warner with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, Mark Vanzi with LivestockMarket.com. A big thank you to our partners, RanchChannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Multimin 90 and Lactopro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text 24/7 707 Ranch 20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger and Beck approved. Stay ranchy and ranch it up.